You're listening to the Visionary Lifestyle Podcast, the show that's dedicated to raising consciousness and empowering you to activate your highest potential. I'm your host, Magda Freedom Rod. Greetings, Rainbow Warriors. Today I'm coming to you from New York City. Our guest today is Kayla Wexelberg. Kayla is a chef, an educator, and a yogini. She's the founder of Taste Your Roots. Taste Your Roots' goal is grounding and educating people in their food culture, the land, and supporting them on the journey to developing a self-motivated, sustainable food system. Her website states, with the diverse foods that exist today, we help folks find practices that not only give them healthy, nourishing sustenance, but a deeper sense of being in connection with their food and their land. Taste Your Roots achieves this through hands-on cooking classes, private chef work, conscious caterings, and individual health consultations. In addition, Taste Your Roots is constantly researching and documenting food practices and traditions all over the world. This information gathered is intertwined in classes and used to help us understand the importance of food traditions and the information they have to offer us in understanding a history, a culture, and a geographic landscape. Most importantly, this research is aimed at answering the questions of how to live a sustainable and connected life. A fellow yogini, Kayla also completed her yoga teacher training in Rishikesh, India this year. I met Kayla at the New Earth Festival in Bali, where she was preparing food to nourish the participants. I was super impressed with what she was serving up and saw very quickly that she was a kindred spirit. She managed to pull herself away from the busy kitchen to have this chat with me. We talk about food, what it means to be seed to table, food in the chakra system, and yoga. I hope you enjoy this conversation as much as I enjoyed having it. Namaste. Miss Kayla, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. So grateful to be here.
Yep, it's happening. We're here in beautiful Bali. I keep thinking about Bali as like a heart chakra because there's just bright emerald green as far as the eye can see. It feels like we're just sitting in a green emerald bubble of heart chakra, unconditional love.
I know it. It's like that heart chakra mixed with the third chakra because it's the rice, the carbohydrates that are growing in the ground.
Yep.
So there's still that raw, bright greenness coming into that determination and confidence and willpower.
Baby.
The Balinese are amazing here, just full of smiles and hardworking.
Amen to that. Yeah, it's incredible being in Bali and to be able to connect with you here, food sister, lover of food, lover of the earth, bright, shiny soul that you are.
Thank you so much. So grateful to meet you.
Yeah, we are definitely on the same vibration with the food and the conscious eating. You're a conscious eating sister, and I really want to drop in deep with you about the food. And you are really holding space with Taste the Roots and your offering of 12 years. Your workshop today was incredible. What was the title of it?
Thank you so much. It's called The Deep Feast.
The Deep Feast. So I'll give you my take on how it felt, what my interpretation of it was. It felt like, to me, I've been saying to people, sharing with people, it felt like the tantra of food. Yeah? So you made this incredible spread, which I already shared on Instagram, so people, you can go find my feed and see the picture of the spread she put out for us. And then she had us pair up as partners and feed each other. And it really took me to this place of mindful eating, like what I recognize and know of as mindful eating, but with a partner brought in the tantra element of it. So like such a deep appreciation and mindful consumption of the food, and definitely falls under the umbrella of conscious eating. So you have a whole new take on it than I share normally. So I'm really happy to dive into this with you and bring your perspective to it and just deepen people's understanding of what conscious eating can be, another dimension of conscious eating.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I've often found that there's two parts to it. There's really connecting to the food and really the story of the food and feeling it in our body. And then the element of creation, you know, who created the food, who's offering us the food, how can we share that together? And there's such a correlation between human and nourishment. Human and nourishment. It's hand to hand. We rarely just eat straight off the land anymore. Someone harvests it for us, someone packages it, someone processes it, someone cooks it, and then it arrives to us. So who is that person? And how do we connect deeper to that process so we can understand food from the beginning, which is something that, you know, look at this gorgeous, gorgeous rice field.
Yeah, we're
the
sitting in front of.
Balinese out here are just surrounded by their food, and that's something that we don't have as much in the United States or in Europe and westernized countries. So
yeah,
for
it's out
me,
of sight, out of mind.
yeah, it's just kind of this hidden aspect that is almost 50% of the process of being nourished and really understanding what you're putting into your body at an energetic level, at a mental level. It's a full circle thing that, you know, I watched the United States try and educate people to eat well from the mind. It's such a mind-based education. And to me, it's just so much more beyond that. It does not sink in if it's just through the brain, go organic, go green. These are just buzzwords. What really sticks is like, what does that mean? And that's kind of a huge aspect of why I have such a passion to cook and to show beings how to cook for themselves. I'm not out here trying to feed the world. I'm out here trying to feed the world so that they can learn to feed themselves and get excited, and then we can all cook together and share that experience.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I love this, and this is a piece that's missing. And when I, you know, as I do my education around conscious eating, a lot of people are like, I don't cook, I don't know how to cook. So, and I don't really teach cooking so much. You know, I have recipes, and I do a lot of education on the why and what to eat, but I don't necessarily do cooking lessons per se. So I appreciate, you know, that together we're filling all the gaps, right? That where people get stuck and, you know, and are less connected to their food and, you know, less conscious about their food choices together, you know, the teamwork here of us, you know, both, you know, and everyone else who's part of our Love Food Army, you know, stepping up and offering what people need to get more connected to their food and make more conscious food choices. So I deeply appreciate you holding that space and offering that for people. And you're just such a nourishing spirit. Like, it just seems like you're so in alignment with your purpose, you know. Watching you light up, you know, nourishing people, and I can really relate to that too. That, you know, it's an expression of love, right, to feed people.
Yeah, it's a huge thing for me. I spent years the beginning of cooking in a, you know, high-end commercial restaurant, and I was a pastry chef, and I promptly gained like 10 pounds in a couple months, and was like, wow, this is really good food, but it's not actually that great for me, or probably all the people I'm feeding. And there was an element, I just felt I was, you know, in a kitchen like 10, 16 hours a day, and I felt really disconnected to the whole thing. And so I ended up shifting gears and connecting to Cafe Gratitude in downtown Berkeley in California, working with an amazing pastry chef there, a raw pastry chef from Italy. And I helped take photos of their dessert cookbook years ago. And I had this collaboration where I was like, wow, okay, this woman grew up in Italy, pastry chef, is now preparing raw food. And it just opened my eyes to what is possible. Man, we can create amazing, delicious, inspiring food that is not only, you know, sensational in flavor, but so nourishing to our bodies and healthy for us. We can leave a restaurant light and full of joy and not completely weighed down by butter and steaks and all the beautiful things that the high-end restaurants have been offering for years. But we can leave super excited, ready for the next task, you know, like letting that nourishment carry us forward and still have like amazing flavors, amazing textures. Right. So and so that for me was huge. And after that, I went into farming. So, okay, what is this? Like, what food, what is the product that we're using, that high nutrient dense product? And farm vegetables for 3 years. So for me, it's been this whole journey of like, okay, I can't just be a farmer, because when I farmed for 3 years, I was like, no, I need to get back in the kitchen. There's something's going on here. And I couldn't just be a full-time chef in a restaurant. So what I found was this beautiful collaboration of teaching and, you know, taking classes to farmers markets, having them meet their farmer, getting amazing seasonal produce, showing them then how to come back and make amazing food out of it. And oftentimes, you know, I feel like I'm more of a Julia Child cooking teacher myself. I'm not trying to, you know, show someone how to be professional or to be the best at making tamales or, you know, Indian curries or anything like that. I teach, you name it, I teach it. And really what I'm teaching has nothing to do with that. I'm teaching, hey guys, let's get back in the kitchen. Let's take this food, let's take these cultures, let's play. Let's not be scared of this place. This is the hearth of our home. This was once where everyone found a sense of self and connection to who they are, where they're from, and how to gift that to others. If you go to Italy, you know, you go to one little town in Toscana, in Panzano, they're going to tell you their olive oil is the best in the world, the best ever. You got it. This is the olive oil. You go 20 minutes down the road, the exact same statement. And that pride, that arrogance really is like so attractive to me, because it's someone that is just so proud of what their land is creating, what they've helped create, that they're like, here, this is me, this is my gift that I have to offer you. And what a world it would be if the American society had that. I mean, come on, like, what would change? We would naturally shop locally. Our environment would be, you know, naturally more well taken care of. They'd be farming and buying these smaller amounts of food. I mean, it's just, and it would not be a conscious thing. It would be because of a heart-directed excitement.
Right, yeah. I think farmers markets are a great place for people to connect with their food, and meeting their farmer is so critical. You know, not everybody lives somewhere where they can, you know, frequent a farmer's market, but good God, if you can, and if you're remotely near one, it is so worth, you know, the effort and the time, and it helps connect you with like-minded community. And hey, you know, you can create meetups, and you know, you can do this on your own, right? You can go to the farmer's market together and make meals together. I mean, what a concept, right? Reconnecting people to their roots and their food. This is so critical. And so many people are scared of the kitchen. So many people are in this kind of survivalist, you know, lifestyle now, where it's like, I'm working 3 jobs and I don't have time to cook for myself. And, you know, I would like to help inspire people. The work you're doing is definitely doing this, you know, inspiring people to get back into the kitchen and to make it a priority, right? I see it as an act of self-love. Like, can you love yourself enough to take the time to do that? And once you do, the reward is so huge, huh?
Yeah, the pride and almost the confidence. I mean, my mother growing up, she's a full-time realtor, worked her entire, like, 25 years or more, maybe started, probably when I was born, so now 30 years or so. But she just couldn't get inspired in the kitchen. Her recipes were very minimal and, you know, that sort of thing. But when she got a recipe, the joy on her face to feed our family this new dish that she discovered was so authentic. And that to me is like a true extension. Whether it tasted great or good or on par, it didn't matter. It was her pure excitement of, hey, I have something to offer my family. And I think, you know, in a working world and working society, the way we have that whole structure built is something that's lacked that. You know, we have full-time parents now that work their asses off to feed their family, but what they're doing really is feeding their family through working full-time and going to the store and buying something pre-prepared. So a huge thing that I'm trying to help people get excited about is time-oriented meals. You know, because I think there is a bridge. There has to be a bridge, because all the things we talk about, you know, I'm so deeply passionate about. But when we get down to basics, our society right now has a structure that's hard to penetrate.
People need practical solutions to this issue.
They need helping hands, because like You know, a lot of people can say farmers markets, yeah, that sounds great, Kayla, but I'm paying $4 for a bunch of carrots. How the heck am I going to feed my family on a farmer's market? When am I going to the farmer's market? So there's all sorts of different shortcuts and different alleyways that I try and offer clients so that it's easier for them. And that's a huge thing, you know, menu design, simple things like that. But once they get it, it's a thing, it's an education.
Yeah.
It's not something, a handicap that now they can pay a private chef to do their food.
Exactly.
It's completely different to that.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, you know, I just worked with a family, their son, in a beautiful way, he's turning vegan. He's 17 years old, basketball player. Watched a video in high school, this is amazing to me, about industrial meat processing, production, and woke up and said, hey, Mom and Dad, I'm going to be vegan now. I mean, she had a bit of a moment of like, oh God, you know, he's vegan, he eats meat, I'm this, from Minnesota, come on, I can eat cheese and bread all day. So we had an awesome class, and she emailed me the other day and said, he's making his own spring rolls and bringing them to school, and he has this like protein-rich peanut sauce that you showed him, and showing his friends. And to me, like, that touches me in a way that is so deeply profound. If we can touch the high school students, their excitement, their motivation, it just spreads like wildfire. And it's easy. This can be easy. This process can be easy. It can be fun. And that's the most important thing that I want to bring in.
And it's so needed. People really need that piece. This is what I keep hearing in the work that I'm doing. And you know, there's so many facets that I'm always trying to cover. And this is one that I hear a lot of feedback and what people need. And it's not necessarily my strength to fill that void. And it's so great to meet you, you know, because it's great to know people that like together we build this army, this team where we fill all the voids that people need. You know, to make this transition, to make this lifestyle really doable, right? And also acknowledging that as we make that choice and eating more organic and eating more plants, you know, how that also nourishes the earth, right? So like, as you were talking about the raw desserts, and you know, you don't have to have all this heavy, you know, stuff. It's like, I'm also thinking in the back of my mind as you're saying that, you know, and the impact on the earth, the footprint on the earth is so much lighter as well. We're lighter, you know, the footprint on the earth is lighter, and this is part of our ascension process.
Oh yeah, I mean, your body gets cleared out, your digestive system gets cleared out. When I cater healing retreats, I have tons of participants come to me saying, Kayla, I'm having regular bowel movements. This is amazing.
This is new.
I cater Burning Man, you know, on the desert. It's like how hot out there. Dehydration is prevalent, to say the least, and constipation is a high possibility. Most of the people that come to my camp have regular bowel movements, more regular than at home. And it's like when we actually start to eat the foods that our body's most welcome to eat and to nourish ourselves with, our system processes them, we have higher energy, and we're more clear, like you're saying, to go to the next thing. Honestly, there's such an obsession and almost like a handicap with food sometimes. You know, I have to admit I have that as well. It's like, oh, I'm tired, I want chocolate, or da-da-da. But if we have...
But chocolate's not bad.
You know, chocolate's not bad. Let me be clear here.
The store-bought, you know, the Matrix chocolate, not so great. But there is super healthy chocolate. There is super amazing healthy chocolate.
There's amazing, but instead of reaching for an outside source of stimulation, like coffee, chocolate, any sort of medication I see people taking, if we actually eat a well-balanced diet, our systems are happy from the inside out.
Being truly nourished as opposed to simply fed.
Yes.
Huge distinction there.
Yes, and it is. I mean, we hear the phrase, food is medicine. 100%. Guys, what we're putting into our body goes straight to our blood. It goes straight to every part of our system, and it helps us function.
Builds new cells.
Who are we to think that if we eat bread versus if we eat a big pile of spinach, that it would be the same influence. There's going to be a different energetic translation. Just simply like we were talking about the chakra systems.
That's exactly where I was going next. I'm so glad you said that. We're on the same wavelength. This is so fun. Yes, energetics of food. In your workshop today, you work the chakras into it. So let's dive into the chakras. Tell us what you share and what your workshop is, and your wisdom about the energetics of the food that we eat.
Sure. Yeah, I would love to. So with the chakra system, should I give a basic introduction to that, or
no? We've been talking about the chakras, so
Great.
Just more how which foods relate, or whatever your take is on it.
So truly, I had a super fun time experimenting with this, and I highly encourage everyone to play and tune in with themselves. When we start with our chakra systems, we can really start to connect to the energies that we have and the energies that we'd like to have. So say we have a weaker root chakra. So our survival, we're more scared, we have anxiousness. We want to fuel our root chakra with certain foods. Now those foods are things like, guess what? Roots. Tons of roots. For a vegetarian, it's lots of roots. It's beets and carrots and all those beautiful things. And then protein, proteins. If you're gonna go for something like denser and heavier, that's gonna root you to the earth. And that energetic field literally connects you to the ground. So that's what you're looking at for your Manipura. No, sorry, for your Muladhara.
Sorry, yes.
There we are. Muladhara.
Manipura is the solar plexus.
That's our solar.
Middle. Yeah.
I'm surrounded by solar plexus energy right now. I can't help myself. And so as we start moving up to that, Muladhara, we have our root chakra, and that's fueled by roots. We move up to our second chakra, which is this energy that is very sensual. It's very fluent.
Meow.
It's our way of relating, our way of flirting, our
sexuality,
emotions.
Connection to another.
Yeah, all those beautiful things.
Juicy.
So that almost feels wet and juicy. So kind of like a wave. So it's all those types of liquids and oils. So coconut oil is amazing for your second chakra, olive oil, teas, herbal elixirs, things like that really stimulate your connection to yourself, your relationship to yourself, as well as your connection and communication to others.
Right, because it's the water element is the second chakra.
Exactly.
Swadhisthana.
Yep, Swadhisthana. So then we move up to my favorite here, Manipura.
Yep.
And that's carbohydrates. That color is yellow, right? So we have our root color, which is red, beets, of course. Yep. Then we have our second, which is orange. Right. So you can do all sorts of things with that orange color.
Yeah, and the colors as well, right? So red beets and even watermelon, right? Yep. And then up into Swadhisthana, so like cantaloupe, mango, carrots.
You could do
not so much carrots.
I would stick to not doing watermelon for the root chakra, because you really want that root energy. Watermelon is more either for Swadhisthana or for Vishuddha. So watery.
Okay.
It's very watery.
Okay, so let's keep going. So
yeah, we'll keep on going. We're in Manipura.
Yeah, yellow, bright yellow sun.
So bright yellow sunshine. Of your body. So this is perfect. So what grows with bright yellow sunshine? Wheat. All of those beautiful fields that we see hitting the sun, golden energy, and that's carbohydrates. So lots of carbohydrate. You see people in New York marching around. They are Manipura energy, living, breathing Manipura. They're going, they're chewing on that like determination, confidence, willpower. That takes a lot of carbohydrates to move around. So if you're lacking in confidence, have brown rice, eat your grains, have some farro. And then as you move on up to our heart chakra, our anahata, this is, of course, our green color. And I like to correlate it with the seasons as well. So root chakra, winter, Swadhisthana is kind of all year round. Manipura is in the summer, fall. And then you come up to your heart. When are things green?
Yeah, super spring.
Super spring.
Yeah.
When is love just springing everywhere and all the babies are bursting and deer are frolicking?
New life everywhere.
New life.
Fresh life force energy and seeds are sprouting and
all of it. So here we are in like raw, green, vibrant kale, chard, lettuce, all those amazing
chlorophyll
things.
For days.
Yes, just open that heart with the green color. Just like pour it in. Pour it in. We need it all the time. That's why we say eat your greens. It's really, really for the most important energy center in our body. Then we move on up to Vishuddha, which kind of gets a little technical here. Now we're getting to etheric energies, right? Where we kind of transcend the realms of eating food.
The throat.
So this is our throat, Vishuddha, and that is almost like international foods. So it's your communication center. It's how you relate, it's how you communicate. So spicy, sour, sweet, tangy, and then raw things. So a lot of fruit. A lot of fruit really helps activate your throat chakra and allow yourself to communicate clearly, to engage with the outer world, to find that kind of like relationship between inner and outer.
Expressing and receiving information, right? I always like to think about the throat chakra and remind people that it's not only what goes out of you, but also what comes in, how you hear, how you receive. You know, you talked so much in the workshop today about receiving as we were feeding each other, you know, the receiving. So just reminding people about that energy, about the Vishuddha, the throat chakra. So yeah, so juicy, again, juicy.
And also very interactive. So like the spices and the sour and the tangy, all those kind of like international flavors.
Different flavors, yeah.
Yeah, it's an interaction piece. And then when we move up to our third eye up here, our visionary one.
Yeah, Ajna.
That vibration, Ajna, is kind of like a and most people say that foods don't really stimulate that, which I can relate to. But I would say the most activating in terms of foods is chocolate.
Ooh, I'm so glad you said that. I almost shouted it out during the workshop today.
Chocolate and caffeine. So coffee, mate, things like that. It's really stimulating for that third eye.
And decalcifies the pineal gland. Hello.
Yes, it does. See, here we go.
Opening that third eye. And goji berries. So goji berry, you know, homemade chocolate, you know, boom. Let's wake up together in the yummiest possible way.
There you are. And then when you get to your crown chakra, you go into deep fast. It's kind of allowing all those foods to travel up to activate, and then you can just rest in that open crown chakric energy and just let all of that just align itself. So truly what you spoke to earlier of if we do eat cleanly and well, we can just ascend. And that's truly what these feeding of our chakric centers do. They allow us to get clear enough that we can just continue to evolve. We won't stay just eating and doing things in this like, you know, static level.
Linear.
Linear situation. We're going to evolve. We're going to rise faster.
Sprout our wings
possible.
And keep going up. But eating our roots so we keep our feet on the ground, right?
Exactly.
To stay balanced, because the chakra system is about being balanced. So it's not just ascension. It's also keeping our feet on the ground and keeping those roots, tasting your roots again here. Deep into Mama Gaia.
Yeah, and this is ancient stuff, guys. This isn't like new age hippie stuff. This is Ayurveda. This is an entire country has based their medical system on this practice.
Yeah, well,
and it's worked.
Yeah, Ayurveda is the base of all medicine on the planet. You know, Eastern, Western. It's all based on Ayurveda. It's the oldest medicine. You know, or oldest medical science, over 5,000 years old, and actually, you know, timeless. Before that, it's only been documented for 5,000 years.
Exactly.
So, yeah, it's not new hippie, new age stuff. This is ancient. Yep.
So here we are tasting our roots. We're remembering what our roots are, and it's allowing us to sprout forward and really evolve and really get to that place of, oh, hey, I'm here. I was there, I'm here, and now I'm going who knows where.
Yeah, just getting lighter and brighter with every bite. What about yoga? How does yoga fit in? Is yoga a part of your life?
Oh my God, you are amazing. This is so perfect.
I just love
this timing. So today in class, this amazing Indian man chanted this mantra. I just came from India, where I spent 5 weeks doing my first yoga teacher training course.
I was just in India for 5 weeks too. We didn't even get to this piece yet.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I was in Rishikesh.
Me too.
That's amazing.
Okay,
perfect.
Moving on.
So for me, that's been that's been huge. It's been elemental to my process with food. It actually helped me start to understand what food does to my body. By having a yogic practice, I could actually really start to ingest these foods and see what they were doing with my system. Before that, as a chef, I just tried out all the things and did this diet, did this cleanse, da-da-da-da. But as I started my own yoga practice, I ended up being so much more connected to my body,
in union. That's
to
yoga.
my chakras, in union, that I could start to intuit where I needed nourishment, how I needed it. And once I did that, food became something else for me. It just transcended. Just like that, overnight through this practice, it became so much more of an alignment piece where I could just tune in and go, oh, that's okay. I need a little bit of this right now. And it's so not about the mind.
Yeah.
It's so much of grounding in the body, finding that practice, and then being able to ask from that level, body, what do you need right now?
Yeah. Tapping into that intuition. And one thing that I mentioned in the class that I taught here at the New Earth Festival, talking about conscious eating, is the question about when people say, I'm listening to my body and my body needs this. And one thing that I'm really questioning is how much of what we think is listening to our body is actually the 95% subconscious programming of the mind, and how much of it is actually the intuition, the body's wisdom, which is definitely there, the innate body's wisdom. So the way to cultivate that body's innate wisdom is through the practice of yoga. And we're not talking about just the third limb, and I'm going to repeat this until you guys just can't hear me say it anymore. We're not just talking about the physical practice, the third limb, the asana, which is a critical, important piece, but that's not all of yoga. Yoga is a much bigger story than that. It's an entire lifestyle, and it's a way of living and being. But yes, I had the same experience when I did my yoga teacher training. I got into my body on a way deeper, more aligned level than I even knew was humanly possible. And that is one of the gifts of yoga. And then I love how you're connecting it to the food too, and the nourishment and what your body needs from the food to be fully nourished.
Yes, exactly. And like you mentioned, there's 8 limbs. There are 8 limbs, guys, to yoga. And we only have one primarily in America.
Yeah, third limb. So you can't build the house starting on the third floor.
You just can't. There's breathing techniques, there's meditation techniques, there's right livelihood. There's so many beautiful practices. And yoga to me is a scripture and a practice that can be applied to everyone. It doesn't matter who you are, where you're from, or what your actual religious practice is. This is a literal, amazing design for how to live a really healthy, clean, clear life.
Yes, and one of my favorite parts of yoga is the foundational principle of ahimsa, which is so much of my work is fueled by ahimsa, doing no harm, and that's to self, to others, to the animals, to the planet, doing as least harm as possible in every choice that we make. And food is such a huge opportunity for us to practice ahimsa towards ourselves, towards the planet, towards the animal, self-love, animal love, planet love, all rooted, I love the word root, rooted in ahimsa, using that as a foundational principle of, making our food choices.
Yeah, and one huge thing is, I get a lot of folks going, yeah, Kayla, how much time does this take of my day? And it's like, yeah, give yourself an hour. Give yourself 2 hours.
Yeah.
Commit yourself to yourself.
Yeah.
Self-love. Because without that self-love piece, what do we have to offer?
Right. It's a way to fill up your cup.
Stress. This is our way to reset every morning, every evening. Whether it's pranayama, breathing exercises, or asana, the physical poses, or meditation, we can give ourselves those moments, and just that aligns us so much deeper into our whole body and clears us of those old patterns of this mind-oriented concept of like, what am I, what do I need to do, what's going on, and allows us to intuit in our body, oh, this is where I'm going. Oh, this is what I'd like to do. This is what I'd like to help my body nourish itself with.
Yeah, this is what I need to be balanced. right? Because the
Yes.
foundational principle of Ayurveda is balance, right? So we talk about the chakras going from the root all the way up to the crown, and the center being the Manipura, you know, and it's all about balance, and balance in body, mind, and spirit. I mean, this is yoga, right? So I've been saying more lately, like the work that I'm doing is the yoga of food. You know, it's bringing that conscious awareness into every choice that we make, and being super mindfully aware of the impact of those food choices on our own body temple, our own vessel that we've been gifted with on planet Earth in this time. But also beyond that, how does it affect the animals? How does it affect the planet? How does it affect, our starving brothers and sisters on the other side of the planet? It has a huge impact.
Huge impact. And I truly believe that as we actually intuit into our bodies, the natural repercussions of that will be more economically friendly, more sustainable, more considerate to other nations, more kind to our environment. And it's going to be just a side effect. It's not this like, oh, we have to work really hard. It's like, guys, we can actually just learn how to tune back into our systems, into our body. And then what we'll naturally actually want will be in alignment with all of these things.
Yeah.
And it is relaxing into that. It is really, truly learning how to trust ourselves again. We've been told for so many years this and that.
Right.
Michael Pollan talks so much about this. The Industrial Revolution, post-war, all of these materials that we made because we had to feed mass amounts of people with,
industrial agriculture.
Not a huge amount of population. So now we have these leftover processed oils, things like that we kind of mass marketed as something better for you. Now as we start to unwind from the Industrial Revolution, which is what we're doing right now, and we are stepping into Anahata, we're stepping into the heart chakric energy of evolution. So we're learning how to shift back from our brains, back into our hearts, allow ourselves to sit here in Bali surrounded by green and go, oh yeah, here we are.
Yeah, let's live in the heart space.
Yeah, we're not at war. We don't need to be at war anymore. We're okay. There's abundance here.
Yeah, we can tap into it at any time. I share a heart opening meditation. I did it this morning in the class that I shared, and I have it as part of my e-course, getting people into the heart chakra and expanding that and bringing the entire world into it at the end of it, by the end of it, and just getting people into that heart space where they're having so much self-love, compassion for self, and then all the way out to bring the whole world into it, self-love and, global love. And having people make their choices from that heart space rather than from the mind. And yes, so much social conditioning, right? People are making a lot of their food choices from just desperation, survival mentality, and so much social conditioning. Like, oh, you need all of this protein, and there's so many different crazy diets out there. And I just want to always encourage people to eat more plants because they're so full of these phytonutrients and minerals and unprocessed, God-made goodness that really brings our vessel into full alignment and activates our highest potential so we can go out and share our gifts with the world.
Yeah. And it seems simple, and it also seems complicated for some folks because their minds get so jumbled up with what they've been told, what the things are.
Yeah.
And so for me, the highest, most clearest way I've been able to find that is through excitement. Purely.
Yeah, let's get people excited about this.
Let's just get people really high off making their own food.
Yeah.
And I see middle-aged women coming in who have no idea how to make sourdough bread. I introduce a sourdough starter to them. They can name the sourdough starter. And they come back next week with a 30-year-old sourdough starter that they got from a friend on the road that they want to share with me. And I see this bright energy on their face,
They're lit up. Yeah.
They're lit up. So let's try from that angle. How can we try from play instead of like, hey guys, this is what we're doing wrong. This is what we need to be doing right. It's like, okay, all right, here we have our situation. We're aware of it. We're clear. This is what's happening in our world.
Yeah.
Okay, let's play. Let's just get each other, excited to eat again.
Yeah.
And excited to feed again.
Yeah.
It's a 50-50 experience. And like I did in our workshop today, the act of feeding someone can be just as nourishing as the act of receiving food and being fed.
Yeah.
And as we do that, I do think that these balances will start to align.
Sure. And I love the concept also. I love play. You're so good at bringing the play piece into it, the lila of food. But I also like encouraging people to create a sacred kitchen, right? So maybe burning some incense, your favorite incense, playing your favorite music, really carving that time out as an act of self-love, making yourself a priority, taking the time, and you know, you can even dress up, you know, why not? You know, and just preparing, washing the vegetables, and just making it a ritual, making it, you know, an entire, like a ceremony even. And if doing that, sure, for yourself, and you know, maybe for someone else as well, or you know, for your beloved or for your loved ones. You know, it's such an incredible act of love to share nourishing food with people.
And like, make it a date, you know, take yourself.
That's a hot date.
That's a sexy, that is a sexy date.
Juicy.
Take yourself to your favorite grocery store, buy the thing that you're like, oh, that's too expensive.
Or farmer's market.
Yeah, or to a farmer's market. Get that fancy thing that you're like, what is that, a Romanesco? Is that like a broccoli thing? I don't even know what that is.
Yeah.
I'm going to buy it.
Yeah.
I'm going to see what I can do with that thing. I'm going to pour myself a glass of wine, put on my favorite apron, play my favorite tune. Billie Holiday is one of mine.
Oh, nice.
And just have fun. Make it a party. This is you hanging out with yourself. And then creating that hearth, you can welcome people into that space. This is the womb of the house.
Sure.
This is where we can be that mama energy, be that nourishing place where people can come. And whenever you go to a party, a house party, where are people collected?
Every time, the kitchen.
The kitchen.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how big or small that thing is. It's an energetic portal to connecting. So as we come back, you know, and I encourage everyone to just make it a beautiful ritual, have an amazing experience. And then that groundedness that we feel in ourselves is like, man, that was so sexy. I just made myself this like epic lasagna. I don't even know. You know, I'm like, oh man, I really want my partner to try that. I'm going to call him and invite him over. Then there's this natural excitement. Look what I did.
Right.
Come eat this thing.
Yeah. Next thing you know, you're having dinner parties and nurturing people and in your community and building community and sharing meals together. And there's so much love in that.
Yeah. Yeah. So the dream is farm to table in the purest way.
Or here, as they say, seed to table. Next level.
Oh God, yeah. Start from the beginning.
We're at Akasha, you know, organic restaurant here in Bali, and they're talking about seed to table.
You know, it was one of the more profound experiences I've had with this deep feast this time around. I've done this ceremony several times, and this amazing woman from New Zealand fed me an olive, and then I had the seed left in my hand. And she showed me the seed, and in silence she showed what that seed is, where it comes from, that it is planting new life. And then she gave me the seed. Here I am with an olive pit that now I'm keeping because it's so profound that this seed is in me. She fed me that olive and gave me this seed that I can sprout to, that I can grow from.
Yeah. And
I could feel that blessing so deeply. We're both standing there in tears, just with that recognition of like, yeah, that's what this is. This is exactly what that is.
Yeah, we're talking about a very deep, profound reverence and appreciation for food, right? It nourishes our body temple. The choices we make can either harm or nourish the earth, right? So just being super consciously aware of that, and this deep mindful eating that you're really practicing and teaching and sharing. And I'm so grateful for you saying yes to delivering your gifts in the world.
Thank you so much. It is truly an honor. I get just as much from it. You know, when I leave a class is often when I feel the most elated, just so energized. Yeah. Just watching everyone leave excited with a new handful of recipes to go play. Yeah. Truly. Beautiful. So on a practical note, for people listening who are like, all right, I'm down. I'm going to get
Let's do this
up
thing.
my
How do
food
we do
game.
What's next? What's the practical, angle, or what are your offerings? What do you have to offer for people? who are now at this point super excited and salivating and can't wait.
Right, definitely. Well, lots of things, as I say. Well, my website, tasteroots.com, can explain a lot about what I do, but I teach cooking classes. I do private chef work, health consultations, and then I work with restaurants to really get them excited around creating more nourishing food, things like this. And then I travel to healing retreats, and I cater for healing retreats and start to implement that education. We have yoga retreats, meditation retreats, dancing retreats, and the kitchen, the feeding aspect, is really meant to be in alignment with all those healings. So I've noticed that as I've started collaborating with other teachers, we can form this more well-rounded education where people can go home and start to learn from that level. And apart from that, I have recipes online. I'm being convinced to do cooking classes online. Yeah. Which, makes me nervous because I'm very much a in-person sort of teacher. But this goal is so much more beyond that. If we can teach a class to 10, well, being able to give it to however many want to view it. Yeah. And get excited at home, because this is what it's about, guys. It's truly about getting involved and going to the farmer's market. That's a first step. Having your first meal. Try your first solo meal. Try it. Take yourself out for a day. No television, no phone. No, turn that music on. Pour that glass of wine or kombucha. Have that hot date with yourself. Yeah. I love that. Get sexy again. Remember how food is sexy. And that is a deep feast. It's a tantra. It's the basis of energy. It's the basis of yoga. It is an exchange. It's true nourishment. It's true nourishment. Deep feast, deep nourishment. Deep roots. Deep roots. So deep. Yeah, so find deep. Those roots again. Because as we find those roots, what can we do when we have beautiful deep roots? We can go up so high. We can stretch. The deeper the roots, the higher we can rise. We can stretch real high. Beautiful. Thank you, sweet sister. Namaste. Namaste. Thank you.
Thanks so much for answering the call to be here today. I'm so glad you're part of our tribe of activated rainbow warriors. If you found the show in any way empowering or inspiring, I would be so grateful if you would share the show on social media or with friends and family that you think would benefit from these conversations. And also, rate and review the show in iTunes. This is really the very best way to help support the show and help us get noticed by others who are looking for the sort of content that we're sharing. Now notice there are no outside ads playing here. That's because the show is supported by you, the listener. You can become a patron of the show with a small monthly donation by checking out the perks on our Patreon page at patreon.com/visionary lifestyle and signing up there. There's also a one-time donation button on the podcast page of the website if that suits you better. And just so you know, your donations help to cover the necessary out-of-pocket monthly expenses to produce the show, and will also help us grow so we can inspire and educate even more people. And hey tribe, I'd love to hear from you. Visit me at visionary-lifestyle.com and please tell me your comments and questions. I really look forward to connecting with you. I love you. Namaste. Today's episode is brought to you by the Conscious Eating 101 e-course. This is a 6-week online course aimed at empowering you to make food choices that are in alignment with your values. The program is based on ahimsa, also known as non-harm, and helps you make every bite that you take an expression of love, self-love, animal love, and planet love. The course offers 15 lessons and 20 nutritious and delicious recipes and is offered over 6 weeks that you can do at your own pace. It includes lessons like plant-based nutrition, protein, dairy alternatives, the story on sugar, GMOs, label reading, and many more. If you're looking to increase your health and happiness, balance your weight, reduce your footprint on the planet, and align your food choices with your values, or are interested in being part of the solution to huge world problems like climate change, rainforest destruction, and world hunger, then this is the course for you. If this speaks to you, please check out consciouseating101.com today.